Well, as this is our final induction of the night, I'm sure no one will mind if this presenter makes one more speech. Ladies and gentlemen, former World Heavyweight Champion, Christian.
Well, I guess by now you've all heard the news. You've all heard the earth-shattering news. I mean, this could change the entire face of the WWE as we know it. This could potentially be bigger than Cena Rock. This could be bigger than Triple H and The Undertaker. And I can confirm for you right now, it's true. Somebody got a haircut. And no, in case you're wondering, it wasn't me. My hair's been brutal for a few years now, thanks. I'm talking about Edge, yeah. He cut his hair off, snip, snip. You wouldn't even recognize the guy when he comes out, or he looks so young. You'll be like, I thought Justin Bieber hit puberty. I mean, Edge, the guy, he's so amazing, really. He's so amazing. The way that he's subtly tried to emulate me his entire career. You might not have realized it, but I did. And now with the haircut, I mean, it's completely obvious. The guy's trying to rip me off. I mean, what are you gonna do next, Edge, huh? You gonna shrink 3 inches and have 9 less world title runs? Come on! Brutal. As a performer, this is without a doubt the best week of the year. And this year especially, man, it's so crazy. It's got me thinking a lot, kind of reminiscing on old times, thinking about the path, the road that Edge took to get to this point. You know, we're just a couple idiot kids that grew up in a small town outside of Toronto, Canada. And the WWE just seemed like this huge, unattainable goal at the time, but we were gonna make it. Somehow, we were gonna make it, and we didn't know how. We didn't know what we were doing. We just started wrestling. We started wrestling in snowbanks and in people's backyards. I mean, even in high school, we would cut class and we'd go to this hallway, this one hallway, and it was square. So of course it was square to us. That meant it was a ring. So we'd start hitting the walls like it was ropes. We'd jump off the stairs like it was a turnbuckle. And I guess I can just kind of sum it up for you like this. You can take the boy out of Orangeville District Secondary School. He can grow up, travel the world, become one of the biggest superstars in this industry, win multiple World Heavyweight Championships, headline WrestleMania, even star in a couple movies, but someday, maybe 20 years later, that boy will return home. And he'll break into that high school after hours. He'll sneak past the fat janitor, right back into that hallway, not realizing they've since installed security cameras. And I have the footage. Roll it. Actually, that was a text message that Edge sent to me probably about a month ago, no lie. He's probably wishing right about now he didn't send it to me. He may never send me another text message. And after reliving that, that's probably not a bad thing. But seriously, it's a real honor for me to, it's an honor for me to be here, and I'm so proud to be able to induct my best friend into the Hall of Fame. I'm not just proud of him because he's amassed such an amazing career here in the WWE. I'm not proud of him because he's gained the respect of all of his peers and all the fans of the WWE Universe all over the world. I'm proud of him because of something else, something that he said to me years ago before we broke into this business, actually as we were breaking into this business. You know, I could stand here and talk about all of his accolades, but we already know that. We already know how great of a performer Edge was. He had a great mind for the business. We already know that. I want to kind of take you behind Edge, the person, and really let you know what it was that got him to this point. You see, Edge grew up, his mom was a single mother, and at times she had to work a couple jobs at a time to make ends meet, to pay the rent. And that day he looked at me and he said, I have to make it in this business, I just have to. The only thing that I want to do is earn enough money to take care of my mom, to buy her a house and make sure she never has to worry ever again. And I'm proud to say that he did that. And just one more thing. About this time last year, right after WrestleMania, Edge called me on the phone with the bad news that he was going to have to retire. And obviously he was upset when we were talking, and he said to me that he knew that the clock was ticking and that he just thought that, excuse me. He just thought that the end of his career was going to be on his terms. And I thought about it and I said to him, hey, you did it on your terms. Think about it. Your last match was at WrestleMania, the grandest stage of them all. You walked into that ring as the World Heavyweight Champion and you left as the World Heavyweight Champion. You can't write a better ending to the story than that. You can't have a better celebration of a career than that. But I was wrong. Because right now, tonight, is the proper celebration for his career. So please help me welcome the newest member of the WWE Hall of Fame, class of 2012. The one and only rated R superstar, Edge.
You think you know me?
All right. I know what you're probably thinking. You're probably saying to yourself, where the hell's Edge? Or who is that guy that looked like he ate Ryan Seacrest? But fear not, dear wrestling fan, it is I, the Rated R. Yes, Edge. First of all, before I get going, I told myself I wouldn't cry, and Christian the bastard already got me crying back there. But I want to thank the Foo Fighters. I want to thank Dave and Taylor and Pat and Nate and Chris and Yeti, because they don't give their music to anybody. Not Apple, not Microsoft. I mean, nobody, but they gave it to me. So that was pretty special for me right there. My favorite band playing me in for the Hall of Fame. Like I said, sure I'm gonna cry later on, but I want this to be fun. I mean, this is a celebration. So I decided to think a little bit outside the box, try and go a little bit more multimedia from a guy who doesn't have Twitter, and never will, by the way. So it's a phony me. It's a phony me on Facebook. It's not me. I'm at home on my mountain. Thank you very much. I'm gonna make fun of a lot of people. And I'm gonna use these different forms of media to do it, but like any good self-deprecating kid from Orangeville, Ontario, Canada, I'm gonna make fun of myself first. Yeah. That's me. Along with the other doofus Christian at the Maple Leaf Gardens, and I am trying to wear a Hulk Rules tank top with the worst mullet. I mean, that is Kentucky waterfall. Whole lot of partying going on in the back of that head. Whole lot of business up front. I heard Ron Simmons, can bench press, 225, 47 times, whatever. I'm up to about 3 now. Back then, I was probably at about 10 pounds, not 10 reps. Brutal hair. But, like 4 years from that point, the Toronto Star, which is a paper up in Toronto for all the Leafs fans in the house. I hear you, Leafs fans, I hear you. But they ran a wrestling column every weekend. And one weekend it said, if you want to be a wrestler, there's going to be an essay contest. The winning essay is going to get free wrestling training. I wrote in. I thought, this is my chance. I'm 17, I can do this. Lo and behold, I ended up winning the training, which for a kid from a single-parent family, just me and my mom scraping to get by, it was such a blessing. And my trainers, Ron Hutchison, Sweet Daddy Siki, without them, Ron is such little fanfare for him. He was a journeyman, but he taught us all so well. He taught us the fundamentals, the basics. He taught us respect for this industry. He would not let us leave that school until he felt we were ready. And each and every one of us that left that school, we were ready. Sweet Daddy Siki, he was so far ahead of his time, and I don't think barely anybody knows who he is, which is a shame. He was the first African-American wrestler in this industry at a time when it was not easy to be an African-American wrestler in this industry, with a blonde afro and mirrors and robes, and man, he had such a strut, and more than that, he loved me, and I loved him, and I still do. Here's the great thing, though. In my class, I had such awesome friends. We were doing this together. Keith Assoon, he's sitting down there. He was able to make it down here. Rob Echeverria, Joe Hitchin, Joe Dorgan, Bert the Hurt. Yeah, guy's name's Bert the Hurt. Yeah, I just saw him stand up. Great, there you go, Bert. And then on to when we started, branching out and to run into guys like Don Callis and a promoter in Winnipeg by the name of Tony Condello. Once again, some of these names you might not know, but they made such a huge impact on my career and my life, and they're unsung heroes in the whole legacy or whatever you want to call it of Edge. Lance Storm. From Calgary, Alberta, Canada, who actually bought a new suit for the first time in 12 years to be here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the last suit he bought was for Jericho's wedding. He bought a new one. Chi Cruz, guy from Winnipeg, once again, another journeyman. He was my partner for a while. Jerry Morrow, Bad News Brown. Bad News, man, he took a liking to me and Christian for whatever reason. I think he saw a passion, he saw a drive, a determination, a hunger, and he took us under his wing. He took us to Japan. He took us wherever he could because we just loved this, and he saw it, and he took us everywhere. And he wrestled me every night, and he taught me. He taught me that I could hang with him, and he taught me that I could do this. Rhino. Yeah, the man beast. Gore, gore, gore. Let's see. It goes back further than that. You see, here's the deal. We named this fella Rhino. He was just a young, chubby kid. Now he's an older, chubby kid. No, actually, he looks pretty good right now. But we named him Rhino, and we kind of took him under our wing, and we would go to all of these far-flung places in the middle of nowhere. Indian reservations 24 hours north of Winnipeg. Yeah, soak that in. 24 hours north of Winnipeg. It was minus 72, and we would freeze. But we would drive across these frozen lakes that weren't always frozen. And I've told this story before, and I'm going to tell it again. You see, one night I was driving. We wanted to get back to Winnipeg. We just wanted a hot meal. We were sick of the craft dinner and sleeping on blue mats, which is what we always did. And I had the first shift, so I was blaring Pantera. I'm rocking out. I'm having fun and everything. And everybody's asleep somehow with me even blaring that. And I see this huge hole in a lake and water. I pump the brakes. I'm like, whoa, this cannot be good. And it wasn't, but Tony, our promoter, decided that he would try and drive us through it. And I said, go crazy, boss. You take it, because I am not doing this. He revs this minivan and guns it. We drop down about 2 feet. There's water shooting up everywhere, but he gets us through. He got us through. Now, Rhino the whole time, bless his heart, he is just like rocking back and forth. And he's muttering prayers to himself like the Rain Man. He's full Dustin Hoffman mode. It was awesome, and I will never, ever forget it. Or forget, it even gets better, because now we go back out, the ring van decides to try and go around this hole, which was the worst thing to do. It drops through, there's water shooting up everywhere. We all walk down to this van and decide we're gonna have to push it out. I'm standing there beside Jay, Christian, and he falls through the ice up to his hips. Yeah, 4 a.m, and it was only minus 50 this night. I started laughing. I didn't try to help him. I just went, oh, that is awesome. So finally, Rhino sees this and is just like Shemp looking for cheese. He's like, dated reference. So he takes off the opposite way. Wrong way. His wheels are spinning. Now, Rhino's a massive dude. He's got legs like my waist. So they're spin wheeling like the Tasmanian devil. Boom, he takes off. Christian finally gets himself out of the water. And Rhino has realized his mistake, turns around, spins back. As Christian's pulling himself out, hits him. And that, my dear friends, was the first gore. Now, I had a lot of help to get to the WWE. I had a lot of people. I've always said you can get people to open the door a crack for you. You got to kick it open yourself. But I had some pretty influential people kick it or crack it for me, and one of them was Bret the Hitman Hart. You see, I went to this show in Canada. It was a very bargain version of Oprah. It was called the Deanie Petty Show. And I heard that Bret Hart was going to be on the show, so I decided I'm going to be in that crowd. And I'm going to have my mullet and my biker jacket, and I'm going to ask Bret a question. So I did. And I said, how do I make it in this business? What can I do? Now, you can probably find it on YouTube. It's out there. And he answered. He said, well, just get experience. Now, here's where it got special for me. He found me after the show. And he came up to me and he said, I'm sorry I didn't have a better answer for you. I'm just so far removed from that part of the business. But just keep plugging away. I see it in your eyes. Which was huge. I have the WWE champion telling me to keep plugging away. And that's all I needed. That is all I needed, man. That kept me plugging away. And fast forward a couple years later, it's May 10th, 1996. I got a call from Carl DeMarco, who is another unsung hero in this story for me. He called me and he said, I need you down at Cops Coliseum to wrestle Bob Sparkplug Holly. So I went down, I wrestled Bob. It went really well. Kept in contact, kept working wherever I could. Finally got a call to go out to Bret's house. He was down with a knee injury, start training with him. Said, all right, we got to try and get you signed. Fine. Eventually, fly down to Stanford, going to JR's office, has a contract waiting for me. $210 a week. I said, let's do it. I'm in. Because trust me, it was more than I was making at that point. But the ceiling was unlimited, and I knew that. I knew with what I was willing to put in, I'd get it back. And it was amazing, And once I got to the WWE, thankfully, I had some great opponents. I had some great people that helped me along the way, and really, I always thought getting to the WWE would be the hard part. It wasn't. It was getting to the top. You get to the top, and you've done something. If you're the elite in this industry, you have a different drive and determination than every other human on the planet. And, man, you got to revel in that. But along the way, I had that elite. I had Shawn Michaels. Who was one of the first people to text me when I got the news, and when the news broke that I was going to be in the Hall of Fame. He said, you deserve this. And if the Heartbreak Kid tells you that you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, you deserve it. He also just gave me the best pep talk in the world in the back, so thank you, Sean. Ric Flair. I somehow managed to get a TLC match with Ric Flair, and man, he brought it, and we managed to pull it off. I'd like to think that maybe in a different era I would have been a member of the Four Horsemen. I don't know, but I'd like to think it. Mick Foley. Where's Mickster? White guy high five. Yeah, there it is. Mick Foley, who, for some reason unbeknownst to me, let me put him through a flaming table. Kurt Angle. The Hardy Boys. The Dudleys. Chris Jericho. Eddie Guerrero. Owen Hart. Batista. John Cena. That's my old shoe right there. And The Undertaker. Now, I'm going to tell a story here, and I'm not going to name names. All I'm going to say is that it involves possibly the owner of the company, JBL, a certain guy whose eyes roll in the back of his head, and he might be a dead man, and Saddam Hussein's palace. Yeah, this is all true. You can't write this stuff. So we're in Iraq, and we have bunk beds. And let's just say that this is probably way too much information, but I have gas that will make a unicorn weep. Horrible. Possibly worse than Big Show's. Now, on this night, I hear the man who possibly owns the company with a certain laugh. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, ha, strong. And a god-awful smell attacks my nostrils. But we're eating military food, so I'm good to go. I got ammunition. And this poor guy underneath me, well, every time the bed started jiggling, it was me giggling, because I knew I was doing very bad things out of my bum. And I'm pretty sure his eyes were really rolling into the back of his head that night. Whoops. I've also had some great partners who have helped me be very vile and evil on our show, and they are Vicky Guerrero and Lita. They did so much to help make the Rated R Superstar the Rated R Superstar. So I'm very, very thankful. I'd also like to thank some tag team partners, and one tag team partner in particular by the name of Hulk Hogan. Yeah, you see, I mean, Hulk, he helped make a dream come true that had nothing to do with a sex tape. Is it too soon? Sorry, I kind of had to. I love the guy. I base my opinions on how you treat me, and he always treated me like gold, so thank you. Now, there's a lot of people that should, could, and will be in the Hall of Fame. But I have a special spot in my heart for the fabulous Freebirds. And it's because, you know, Michael Hayes and I have a very special relationship. Michael has been so pivotal throughout my whole career with the WWE. You know, when I first went down to sign that contract, I walked into the TV studios, there's a wrestling ring, and Michael Hayes is standing in it, waiting to have a match with me, unbeknownst to me. So I get in, he hits me with the world's stiffest left jab DDT combination ever. But I didn't complain, and he vouched for me, and I ended up getting that contract. From there, fast forward to him managing the Hardys, and there's this little group called the Brood. And we ended up wrestling Michael, and I've watched some of those matches back, and I did things to Michael that should not be humanly possible. I picked him up on my shoulders. I was obviously a lot stronger then. But here's the thing, Michael was so groundbreaking. He was rock and roll, man. He was rock and roll in this business. And but there's a really big reason why I want to see Michael inducted into the Hall of Fame, and honestly, it's so that I see what tux he wears. As a matter of fact, I think we have a little roll call of Michael's suits over the last few years. Yeah. Yep, that's all happened. And here's the thing, Michael, you set me up with the greatest ammunition, because tonight you look like Kermit the Frog's pimp. Yeah. Sorry, Michael, I had to. You're like a father figure to me. Yeah, there's a lot of things I miss about this industry. This is one of them. Whoa. Whoa, hold, no. Who hacked my phone? No, that's not supposed to be up there. I do not miss Hornswoggle, spread eagle, dressed like an elf in the dressing room. All right, maybe I kind of miss it. But here's the thing, I miss the camaraderie, I miss the friendships, you know, being on the road with the guys. I've been able to develop a lot of friendships over the years. You know, my kids, Kurt Hawkins and Zach Ryder. Woo, woo, woo. Woo, woo, woo. Guys, you guys, you hold a near and dear, you know, place in my heart. I know what an influence I was on you, just like Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart were on me. Just keep plugging away. You know, if you want it bad enough, you'll get it. All right? William Regal. William Regal, who has given me unwavering friendship. Unwavering. No matter what I was going through, no matter how flat I fell on my face or what mistakes I made, he had my back. And he's got an amazing sense of humor. He's the only man that I've ever heard describe a physique as he's built like a melting candle. I mean, that's awesome. Rey Mysterio. You know, when I get my tattoos done, I stay at Ray's and I end up bleeding all over his brand new crisp bed sheets, and I always feel horrible, but you know, we have a good time, and I miss him and I love him. Glenn and Mark, and enough said there. Matt Stryker. Yeah. You see, Matt has this weird kind of neurotic anxiety when it comes to The Undertaker. Yeah, it's really weird. His nose starts to sweat. So right now, what is happening, if we can find Matt Stryker, his nose is sweating uncontrollably at this point. And in his mind, there's a dialogue, and he's saying, I guarantee it, oh my God, it's Taker, 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 Taker. Does Taker hate me? Oh my God, it's Taker. That's happening right now. Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer, man, we rode so many trips together. He would always want to drive. He just, such an amazing man. And not necessarily the best driver, though. He has some really strange fears. He fears fog. He fears night tornadoes. And purple lightning. I don't really know what any of that means, but one night we were driving and it was very foggy, and he was weaving all over the road going, oh my God, it's foggy, oh my God, it's foggy, oh my God, it's foggy. Completely monotone like that. We get pulled over. So, cop comes walking up. Tommy gets out of the car and says, I should not be driving. I'm in the passenger seat, and I smacked my forehead. I was like, oh, what is he doing? The cop looks at me, and I'm like, I don't know. He has not been drinking, I promise. Like, so we get out and we change. And the cop goes, okay, fine. Well, I'm out of breathalyzers, so go ahead. And I ended up driving the rest of the trip. But beyond that, here's the deal. I didn't really like rooming with guys. I liked having my time at the end of the night. But this one night we had 3 hours. And it was after TV, it's Chicago, we're at the Hyatt, and Tommy swears to me he doesn't snore. Tommy snores. A lot. So I was lying there in bed, and within 2 seconds, like even a nanosecond, he's snoring. And I looked, I was like, how does that happen so fast? And then I'm like, Tommy. And he goes, oh. He looks over, like, and I go, you're snoring? He goes, really? Instantly. Like, wide awake, like sawing wood to wide awake that quick. I'm like, how is that even possible? So he immediately falls back asleep. Now, once again, way too much information. I sleep naked. And no, I'm old now, trust me, you don't want to see it. But I decide to get up on my bed and hit the Superfly pose. Now, I'm sure Tamina is somewhere here cringing, and I've just ruined the image of the Superfly for the rest of her life. And I hit Tommy with the sweetest Superfly. It was awesome. But I've tried to think of how I can explain Tommy's snoring, and it's just like a bunch of skin smacking off of stuff, and there's just all these weird things coming out of his face, and it's like a flesh tsunami. That's how I've kind of deemed it. It actually sounds like this looks. Yeah. Uh-huh. Wow, that's abnormally long. We can probably cut off of that now. It sounds like having a pillow fight with 2 bags full of cottage cheese. It's weird because Tommy is kind of the Kramer to my Seinfeld. Matt is the weird, chubby, neurotic little George Costanza, which makes Christian my Elaine. You know, Christian and I have been best friends for 28 years. We have been through so many things together. I mean, he's not just a friend. But the best thing about Jay is that he never changes. And I honestly think, to me, the thing that impresses me most about him, it's his morals and the fact that he is the best husband that I've ever met. It's true. It's so true. Mind you, look at his wife, that's why. Hey, I'm just saying she's pretty, but he's an awesome husband, all right? I want to thank Beth for tiptoeing into my life and making it so much better. I love you. And I'd like to thank the best tag team partner that I've ever had, and it's not Christian, it's my mom. You know, Jay explained it pretty well. You know, we didn't have much. Didn't have a phone. Didn't have cable. We had rabbit ears, but enough to get wrestling. We had a little coil heater. We could see our breath at night when we slept. But through all of that, when I said I wanted to be a wrestler, she said, do it. She was my backbone. And when I was 17 and saying, I'm going to start becoming a wrestler, she said, do it. You can do it. Fast forward a bunch of years later, and I thought the best look that I would ever see on her face is when I was able to buy her a home. But tonight, the look on her face is even better. Love you. All right, I made it through that. I thought, I kind of made it through that. Listen, I want to thank all of you, the WWE Universe. Gave me a lot of love over the years, and I kept all of it, so thank you. You know, I've kind of lived by the motto, this one song I really like, it always said, decide what to be and go be it. And I did. And now I'm a Hall of Famer. I can stand out here all night and thank everybody and thank yous all night, but I know we got WrestleMania tomorrow and you guys are sick and tired of this, so I've already said thank you probably better than I ever could in the past. So here we go.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hold on. Is it just me or is everybody else sick of that music? Bear with me here, because that whole da 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 da, and then everybody automatically stands up. I'm sick of it. I had to sit there so often and hear that. This is a party. I want to hear some rock and roll. Hit it.
You think you know me?
Much better. Thank you. Yes, I'm wearing socks with Sasquatches on them.